Have you been overwhelmed by medical bills and lawsuits leading up to and during the pandemic? Many Texans have. Scan here to share your story, and you may be part of an upcoming special investigation. Medical debt threat, coming soon. From phones to cars and even medical devices, a global computer chip shortage is making it harder to get items that you count on every day. The majority of these chips are made in other countries, but a senator and a congressman from Texas are pushing legislation to manufacture them in the U.S. As Monica Madden shows us, Texas could play a big role in how the proposals play out.
We're at the Texas Advanced Computing Center, where you can see a lot of this high technology stuff behind me. Now, I know it looks like a lot, but chips are in literally everything, from your phone to defense weapons, which is why congressmen say it's important to have more of them manufactured here in the U.S.
Think of it as the brain that powers almost everything we use.
It's everything with an off and on switch.
That's why there's broad support to make more chips in America.
Their leadership.
U.S. Senator John Cornyn and Representative Michael McCall led the push for incentives and funding to boost U.S. semiconductor production.
We cannot afford for those to be compromised.
On Monday, they met with business leaders and the University of Texas, which is hoping to get funding to increase research and development.
This is about creating manufacturing jobs in the United States, but it's also about protecting our national security.
The U.S. only produces about 12% of the world's semiconductors. And as for the most advanced ones,
guess how many of those we make? Zero.
Experts say not only do we risk security when production is outsourced, but major crises in those countries could destroy our supply chain.
What if China moves into Taiwan? We have to shut down just about every industry. We won't be able to make any phones. We won't be able to make cameras. We want to be able to make medical devices.
He says the solutions are in plants like the newly announced Samsung one in Taylor, Texas, but those will take time.
We should have done it years ago. You can't just acquire one of these factories overnight.
Congressman joked that this is probably one of the only bills that has full bipartisan support in D.C. from the House and the Senate and the president. They just have to make some changes in conference committee before it officially goes to the president's desk to sign. In Austin, Monica Madden, back to you.
The bills pending in Congress would dedicate $52 billion towards semiconductor production and research. As Monica mentioned, there's bipartisan support, but there are big differences that have stalled a final deal. First off, the cost. The Senate bill calls for about $250 billion in additional spending. The House bill has even more, $400 billion. Both bills add funding for the National Science Foundation, but with different priorities. The Senate bill includes $29 billion to focus on research into semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and other high tech. The House bill calls for more than $13 billion. The focus there includes climate change and environmental sustainability. Both bills also have trade provisions loosely related to technology. The Senate bill would reinstate Trump-era tariffs on certain goods imported from China. The House bill reauthorizes a program to help people who lose their jobs because of increased imports. Negotiators from both chambers need to work out their differences and reach an agreement for the legislation to advance. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Josh Hinkle, and we'll be back next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.